Hey yo, welcome to Open Mic Gaming. I'm Jiraga, and this neat little game here is Wuthering Waves. Now, with the release of both the 11 minutes of gameplay footage from IGN, the closed beta test showcase, and some bonuses here and there from Twitter and the Wuthering Waves subreddit, we have officially seen the most we're likely to see until the launch of the first closed beta test. Even so, there are still some talking points I've noticed that haven't been talked about too much, some to do with the game itself, others with the characters. Later on in the week, I'll likely put out a video discussing why I made this miniseries, why I'm excited for the game, and what the future of the channel will likely be. But for now, let's jump into the interesting tidbits and things we may have missed about everyone's favorite goat-leaping, dragon-lassoing god, Jiyan. The first thing myself and a handful of other people noticed about Jiyan was the interesting little mystery surrounding his resonance liberation. See, I can say words. In the IGN footage during the encounter with the Elite, at one point you'll notice the design for the ability is lit up, and it looks like it could be activated if the player wanted it to. IGN logo all up in the way. Yet a few moments later, the icon changes entirely. Now, the common speculation I've seen is that, hey, maybe homie has two resonance liberations. I mean, I wouldn't totally rule that out, but one thing is for certain. Jiyan's changing resonance liberations is tied to his core passive. Okay, right. Taking a step back, core passive may not be the official term to use for Wuthering Waves, but in their previous project, Punishing Grey Raven or PGR, every single character had it. A core passive in PGR is kind of like a chore, in quotes. It's like a chore you aim to complete in fights in order to maximize damage or trigger some kind of beneficial effect, yada yada. Take Bianca here for example, the certified railgun that's been with us for ages now. I believe she was like the second newest character added. Now, your goal on her is to trigger 3 red pings followed by 1 blue ping. The orbs are pings. And once you have, Bianca changes from a lightning archer to a freaking lightning siege cannon. At least until the bow meter drains entirely. But while she's in that mode, her arrows have significantly increased damage and unlimited range, and even her evasion changes. And you know, there's more of them obviously, it's just I decided to use that one as an example because it's very, very straightforward. But they can get pretty complex. And if you haven't already, I highly recommend you check out Punishing Grey Raven. If you want to see some cool PGR boss battles, I'll leave this video of Blancs in the description. I'm sure you've seen it by now if you're looking into Wuthering Waves, but hey, there you go. If you want to check out the game and need a place to start, I highly suggest you check out Rexcellence guides to get you going. Trust me, PGR is definitely worth it, it's free to play friendly, and I might be a bit biased. Plus look, they got 2B in the game. But anyway, back to the core passive discussion. Essentially, core passives are game changers in PGR. And even from the technical test of Wuthering Waves, it appears everyone has them here as well. It's those bars or meters everyone has above their health bars. For Jiyan, I noticed his bar builds up as he lands attacks, but he also consumes 50% of it to use his resonance skill. Not only that, but his core passive bar seems to have E and R directly next to it. And that kind of leads me to believe his liberation skill may be enhanced in some way when the bar sits at 50% or higher. You see what I mean? But see, check this out. The moment his core passive builds to 50%, the icon changes. There may be some level of balancing you'll have to pay attention to or look out for to use Jiyan fully to his maximum potential. And I'm not gonna lie, I am a fan of things like that. And one final note for Jiyan's resonance liberation. The closed beta showcase did potentially show us what the other liberation might be, because we've seen what Jiyan looks like when he triggers his liberation. But now, we saw him trigger it by slamming his spear into the ground before proceeding to Dynasty Warrior all over everyone. I mean, I guess having 50% on his core passive could just mean he gets an additional AoE slam and a quicker activation animation? Who knows? But the reason why it's such a cool thing to note, a lot of characters, including future characters, could also potentially have resonance skills and liberations altered by the way the core passive mechanics work. So I felt it was worth delving this deep into it. Maybe reading too much into it. But believe it or not, we're actually not done with this fight yet. Jiyan seems to have a lot more attacks than he initially lets on. Attacks that, so far, aren't even listed under his profile on the official website. To start, dude has 2 separate launchers. One with his wind spear, and one with his sword, claymore, nadachi, whatever you want to call it. Next, it seems when triggering Jiyan's Concerto QTE effect, he appears and throws a spear down at a target before slamming the spear on a target directly afterwards. The slam attack snapped to the other target pretty hard, so I'm gonna assume that he can aim it 360 degrees as long as a target exists. I wonder if he can throw the spear down without the QTE effect. Jiyan also has another attack that I don't quite understand how it's triggered just yet. Maybe it's a follow-up. Well, first, when he comes down with his slam attack, he continues into like a rapid piercing technique. Now, we've seen this attack a couple times. I believe it's in the closed beta showcase as well for him. Pretty sure it is. But seeing this makes me curious about what triggers it. And even after it, he can take the enemy into the air with another launcher. Boys, that's called combo potential. At the end of the day, the reason I wanted to bring all these moves to attention, well, okay, there is more than one reason. I'll have a video up later in the week, again, for that one. But the other one was because I saw Jiyan's profile go up on the website, and with all the moves they showed off, so much of it was missing. Likely Kuro didn't just want to tell us everything, because where's the fun in that? Half the fun in these action games is discovering how moves and combos work yourself. But the other half of the fun for me is pointing out these kinds of things and being able to stir up discussion about it, you know? But, you know, at the end of the day, really, was anyone actually concerned about Kuro's combat? Anyone? Anyone at all? Of course not. But I'ma just say it. Clearly, you can do way more than they let on with these characters. And this whole week, I'm gonna show it off the best I can without actually having ever even played the game. And most of the crap I'm spewing might just end up being derpy speculation and doesn't amount to anything. But who cares? It's fun to be hyped about games. And how many times have you been disappointed after being hyped about a video game? Hello? I still have stuff I want to talk about on Yang Yang and on Chixia. I have some stuff I want to talk about with Red Dude and Blue Markiplier. Granted, those videos will likely be shorter since we've seen so much of Jiyan and not as much as the others, obviously. And you know, honestly, I think the character the hardest to speculate anything for is probably Rover, weirdly enough. But I'm looking forward to figuring it out, you know? But well, folks, if you enjoyed my tirade into hype and madness with Wuthering Waves, drop me a like. If you like what you heard from the channel so far and want to see what I have in store, feel free to subscribe to keep up with the uploads. And of course, if I missed anything, y'all better get me in them comments. No, honestly, I don't mind making a follow-up or addressing something that got missed, especially if it's interesting. In fact, I'm 100% certain I'm gonna miss something. It comes with the territory to these kinds of things. Discovering stuff is the fun of it though. And as I said before, I do actually have a direction I want to take the channel, and that is including with Wuthering Waves, of course. Again, I will be putting out a video at the end of the week discussing all of it, but for now, thanks a ton for stopping by. This has been Jiyan of Open Mic Gaming, and I'll see you again very soon. Peace!